So I would like you to be prepared as much as possible with comps when you go in, if you have enough opportunity to do the research ahead of time. Because I want you to be aware when you walk in, you're like, okay, this is a 1950s, whatever, 1,400 square foot, unfinished basement, 3-2, no garage, dead end street. You're thinking, oh, it's compared to this price range. And all you're basically doing during the walkthrough is a justification of the pricing. So you then can be a prepared professional and sit down and present the price to them at the time. Sometimes, so yes, do as much up front as you can. Take your iPad, laptop with you. Have all their comps in a cart with their name on it. If you need to pull it up that in the front of them and show them, you're even more prepared. Does that make sense? I love being able to do that. In the event that you're not feeling it or it's not really lining up with where you thought, hey guys, you know what? Can I have 10 minutes here? I want to review the market because Shannon, I want to respect you and the price that we market your home at. I want to make sure that we get it as right as possible. Instead of me waiting until tomorrow to get back with you, can I have a few minutes here? Cool. Yeah, you can stay here. Don't feel like you have to leave. I just want to make sure, oh, cool. And then, and that's all part of the rapport building. We're building rapport throughout this whole tour. Does that make sense? And then just come up with it. I never give them a price. I would like to always give them a price range. Hey, I think if we listed your house between 130 and 145, we're going to sell it in 40 to 60 days. Let them choose the price. Then they can't blame you for when it doesn't sell. Okay? Remember we talked 30 days later, why my house selling? You know what? We're low on showings. I think it could be the price. We started at 144.9. The market's looking like we need to be under 140. Is it okay if we go ahead and go to 139.9 or 135 even? Well, you did say that early on. I think that's okay. It softens the blow 30 days later or whatever days later.
I just went through that with my listing that I just listed.
Good.
We had decided 119, and then the day before we go on, I want 125. I said, and this is a very good friend of mine, so I'm like, okay, we'll do it your way, but in 2 weeks, if we have no offers, can we go down to 121? So I kind of met her in the middle a little bit. She's like, yeah, okay. Well, we've been on for a week and nothing. So I've already set her up that next Monday we're going to 121. And then I said to that, in 2 or 3 weeks, if we're not anything, then I want to be at my 119. And she was cool with that. So, but she's kind of like, she's my best friend. So, she trusts me, but they always seem to get like a sense of greed, like right before you go on the market too. Like they've already got paperwork, everything's signed, and then it's like, oh, wait a minute. I feel like my house, everybody thinks their house is worth more than what it really is. Majority.
You know what? I tell you, if this house is worth 135 and we put it out at 125, the market will correct itself. The market will tell us, and honestly, the market will tell us if it's too high. In just the same regard. By no showings, no offers, no nothing of that nature. So the market dictates value.
So is there typically a range that you give them, like you went 15,000, or you went 130 to 145? Do you typically give them like that?
10, 20,
okay.
20 on higher price.
Okay.
I think it should be 270 to 290.
Okay.
320 to 340.
Okay.
Is that kind of like, so it kind of makes them feel like they're in control of it a little bit, but in reality, okay.
Yeah. There's no rocket science to this, as we discussed earlier with the appraisal situation. There's no definitive answer. This isn't brain surgery. This isn't rocket science, right? They just landed on Mars yesterday. $818 million. It took
Did they land?
They landed.
Okay.
It took 7 months to get there. It takes 8 minutes for a communication to reach Earth because it's 91 million miles. $818 million project. This is nothing. This is no big deal, right? Comparatively speaking. So we have abundance. We have a lot of these appointments coming our way, and it's not rocket science. Questions on pricing. Do as much as you can beforehand. We'll have some CMA training. Okay, we're too high. 144 here. We're too high. All right, you know what? We're going to see if we can get this carpet taken care of, these things here. We'll get the work done. A week later, we'll relist it 139 out as a 3-bedroom, and they'll have an accepted offer.
If you want to go ahead and get them to sign in person, but you don't have your numbers yet, are you just having them sign
Yeah.
just to feel like they're
Just
locked
have
in,
the
even though
contract.
you don't have that price on there yet?
Why not?
Okay,
Good commitment.
okay,
You don't have to have a price filled in for them to sign a listing agreement.
okay.
I'll tell you what.
I guess I always feel like all the spaces need to be filled for them to commit,
So
but,
would you put anything TBD or just leave it
Fill
like,
in tomorrow.
okay?
okay.
Yeah, when I send out your listing contracts too, I have a little like canned email that says the listing price hasn't been turned in once you and your agent figure out, you know what I mean? Like we explain that whole thing to them. There's like a
Okay.
big spiel.
Gotcha.
And when you just give them an initial afterwards, I guess? No?
Turn that. You can if you want to. I'm not a corporate compliance type of person type thing. As long as it's right and you're not being
Okay.
shady on it.
Right.
Yeah,
We're
and they
not.
get a
So
copy
it's
too. Yeah, they get a copy. Like we're legally have to have that to them in 48 hours, so they're gonna have it.
Right, okay. I guess
If you
I
have to
felt like
sign
you
their
needed to
name,
have
you can
those
sign their
numbers
name.
ahead, so
As
that
long as
makes a lot more sense.
No, don't sign that.
These signatures
Sign
on
that
that.
house first.
It's a live stream.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was on video. We'll cut that part out.
Hey Todd, what happens when we get an offer? Well, cool. When we get an offer, I do want to talk about this at the listing appointment. When we get an offer, I gotta be honest, it could be a quick situation. I'm not so certain that we'll be able to meet in person, Mr. Seller. It may have to be a phone conversation. Okay, cool, that makes sense, because your schedule, your husband's schedule, my schedule might not all line up to where we can take our time, have a cup of coffee, and sit down and go over it. They literally might send me an offer at 10 a.m., want an answer by 3 p.m. Be prepared. And by being prepared, I'm gonna have everything ready for you. I'm gonna go over an estimated net proceeds sheet. You've told me what you owed, I'm gonna plug in all the numbers. We're gonna talk about your check at closing, what you walk away with. And before that, we're gonna talk about all the other major terms of the purchase agreement. We're gonna talk about price last, because when we get an offer, because if we talk price first, you may miss some other important terms of the contract. So I'm gonna make sure I present that offer to you with all the important terms up front, and we'll talk price last. Make sense? Cool. And then what we can do is I can just email you the purchase agreement, you can quickly digital sign it, or if you need to print it out, sign it, and scan it back in, that's easy too. Or if I need to meet you in person, or you can come by our office and have all the assistants help you. Because they're all licensed and they can. Make sense?
You have a really good video out there on presenting offers too, that I
Oh,
can.
that's right.
I
That was a good one.
I've got it on the training site and I can share it with everybody.
Cool. Questions? What other questions do you have? I want you to use that word.
I don't like how you're subliminally dropping it on us.
What other questions do you have? I use it in coaching all the time. What other questions do you have? Let's dig out. Well, I'm good. Okay, see you. I'm going home. Or we'll stay till 3, or whatever. Servicing a listing. So when you go back to the office, update with the listing manager. If they need to send listing docs or whatever the case is, tell them the terms, they'll fill them in. Sarah will fill it in, take care of it, and get it out. Then every 2 weeks, then we make sure we get it signed. She'll schedule photos. We've got a really cool sheet on the front page that Sarah will explain to you how to fill out. If you want to, like sometimes I will just take a picture of that sheet and text it to her, and she'll get started right away. Okay, because everything she needs to know is on that sheet of paper. One piece of paper, as you get in your car to leave, she could have them documents emailed by the time you get back to the office. Does that make sense? As efficient as possible. I'm the CEO of this, Chief Efficiency Officer, right? I want everything as efficient as possible. And don't waste any time, make it all timely. Make sense? I'm not even shaking my head, 3 of y'all. So, get everything to the office, they'll get the ball rolling. I want you to review the listing to make sure nobody made a mistake, okay? And we're gonna edit this and update this listing because I took a lot more notes in that file.
Okay. Supra.
Supra?
Yeah, what do they do with the Supra?
Oh, if you want to get a key from them that night, go ahead and get a key, put a Supra box on. It's okay. If you want to put a sign in the yard, go ahead. Make sure they sign the listing agreement. If you want to put a sign